Hey everyone and welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and perhaps the most scandalous affair storyline is being played out in Hollywood right now. Mega pop star gets her dream role in the film Wicked, divorces her husband, and starts dating SpongeBob actor who divorced his wife and abandoned her after she just gave birth. The wife told Page Six that the pop star is not a girl's girl, but then the pop star called out Page Six for lying despite them writing a direct quote. Both the pop star and SpongeBob thought they got away with it, until the ex-wife and doctor wrote a scalding piece for The Cut detailing how her husband left her to date the pop star while she nearly died after childbirth and after moving to a different country for him. This is quite the scandal indeed, so if you want to know the entire story of how Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater will combat Lilly Jay's classy rebuttal with some sprinkles of inside tea, well, you're in the right place. If you guys are new here, be sure to like and subscribe for weekly videos about the most scandalous media unfolding in front of us, but with a different twist. We often report what the media tries to hide. We told you multiple times that Ariana Grande was nicknamed the serial cheater by our sources for years. We did a special video titled The Psychology of Ariana Grande and her need to reportedly wreck homes, as well as her history of being the other woman in nearly every relationship. Her publicists, as well as Ethan, tried to reframe it as the media twisting lies, claiming that no one knows the truth. But now, clinical psychologist Dr. Lilly Jay detailed how it was to go through a divorce that not only affected her personal life, but her professional one as well. This is one crazy story, and not the first time Ariana Grande has been caught in an alleged cheating scandal. One could say it's a bad habit of hers. Speaking of bad habits, it's the new year, and if you're anything like me, you're setting new goals for the year and taking a step toward breaking the little habits that sneak up on us, like reaching for that thing you know you shouldn't, procrastinating, unhealthy snacking, or any other habit you feel is holding you back. Change is possible, and it can start with one small step. Trying to do a whole 180 doesn't often work and can lead us back to our bad habits, so what if I told you there was a better alternative to help steer you straight? Meet Fume, the award-winning flavored air device, part of the category that is becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking. Fume offers a unique way to satisfy your oral fixation using flavored air, completely free of nicotine, vapor, or batteries. Instead, it provides clean, non-toxic flavored air, perfect for those seeking a healthier alternative. With a variety of delightful flavors like crisp mint and orange vanilla, it's highly customizable and even includes a cleaning kit. Plus, the device doubles as a fidget tool, making it an excellent option for relieving anxiety. I've been using Fume for a couple of months to curb my late-night snacking, tackling the hand-to-mouth habit that's tough to shake. It's like enjoying a guilt-free treat. I love the cinnamon hearts and sparkling grapefruit flavors, and I often find myself fidgeting with it while deep in focus during editing. Fume is a gift that promotes wellness in an enjoyable way, especially as we close in on our New Year's goals. This is the perfect gift for someone you love or for yourself. Head to tryfume.com/scandalousmedia and use my code scandalousmedia to get a free Fume topper when you order a journey pack. Again, tryfume.com/scandalousmedia or just scan the QR code on screen to grab yours now. And now, let's talk about a different bad habit: getting caught in the middle of someone's marriage. Lilly Jay's personal essay. Lilly Jay, Ethan Slater's ex-wife, wrote a personal essay for The Cut, and it was cutting to say the least. She's a clinical psychologist who earned her doctorate from Long Island University in 2020. She also holds a degree in psychology from Columbia University and one in law, jurisprudence, and social thought from Amherst College. She wrote, "No one gets married thinking they'll get divorced, especially not just after giving birth to my first child, and especially not in the shadow of my husband's new relationship with a celebrity." For a detailed recap of Ariana and Ethan both cheating on their former spouses, Dalton Gomez and Lilly Jay, check out my video where I went over the entire timeline of date clashes, reports of how Ariana held Ethan and Lily's newborn baby, and expressed to Lilly how she wants a family of her own, and more. Lilly Jay continues, saying that she was shocked and in mourning, especially since the end of her marriage was made public. She missed her life of invisibility as a psychologist specializing in women's mental health. She went on to explain something that no one took into account when this whole thing blew up in the media, and that was how, as a psychologist and a therapist, she's supposed to provide her patients with a safe space where she's not fully known to them, so they're able to vent without the complexities of a personal relationship getting in the way. Therefore, you're venting to your therapist without the knowledge of what your therapist is going through, and therefore without the preconceived notion of, well, do you really know what you're talking about if your husband just left you for Ariana Grande? Lilly details how she worked as a psychologist at a children's hospital, supporting women pregnant with babies facing severe or fatal diseases. At 8 months pregnant, she greeted her patient who told her, "There's something different about you," and then complimented her on a haircut she didn't get. Lilly Jay wrote, "I truly believe they did not allow themselves to see my pregnancy at all, knowing that the person they asked to witness their grief was floating through a healthy pregnancy was too much to contend with, so they looked away." She wrote that becoming a psychologist solidified her detachment from social media, writing that professors and peers of hers warned her of the conclusions a curious patient might reach if they were to unearth online artifacts of their real-world lives. She wrote, "My partner was on a different path in which social media and exposure were not impediments, but rather necessities. It was a tenuous balance, my profession, which requires privacy, and his, which is measured in applause. But it worked well while life was unfolding according to our plans." When she finally gave birth after surviving a life-threatening birth complication called preeclampsia, she felt very happy as her family was whole. Despite that, she worried, knowing the statistics of how vulnerable a marriage is in the postpartum period. She wrote, "I confidently moved to another country with my 2-month-old baby and my husband to support his career. Consumed by the magic and mundanity of new motherhood, I didn't understand the growing distance between us. Motherhood, I have learned, fills your time but not your mind." She elaborated, saying that despite moving on with life as a new mom, she worked diligently on her private project of accepting the sudden public downfall of my marriage. "This, I tell myself, is nothing to be ashamed of and nothing to hide. Slowly but surely, I have come to believe that in the absence of the life I planned with my high school sweetheart, a lifetime of sweetness is waiting for me and my child. While our partnership has changed, our parenthood has not." She says that they love their son 100% of the time and that her days with her son are sunny, but days when I can't escape the promotion of a movie associated with the saddest days of my life are darker. At this point in the article, we get confirmation from the source herself that her marriage was broken apart by Ethan, basically leaving her for Ariana. She's a classy lady, so she's not going to say it outright, but she says that she had to accept the sudden downfall of her marriage. It wasn't something happening in private. I cannot even imagine having to witness the Wicked press tour, as I covered in a recent video, watching as everyone's dream comes true, while you're reduced to, "Oh, the media was lying." One user wrote, "Even if Ethan didn't cheat, he should have spent those 3 months after Lilly Jay almost died giving birth, supporting her and their newborn, rather than playing around with his coworker. He knows that, Ariana knows that, and you all know that, but none of you care." I mean, look at the timeline. May 15th, 2023, Ariana Grande celebrates her marriage anniversary with Dalton Gomez. June 1st, Lilly Jay wishes her husband Ethan Slater a happy birthday. July 20th, TMZ reports that Ariana and Ethan are in a relationship. Ariana's entire response to this was saying that she and Dalton separated in February 2023 and tried it again but didn't work, yet she was saying "I love him so" on Instagram in May. Ethan filed for divorce in July 2023, 1 month after his son's first birthday. That same month, news broke of Ethan's romance with Ariana Grande. Again, I went into more detail about the overlapping timeline in my other video, but let's continue with what Lilly Jay wrote, shall we? Not only did Lily's personal life take a hit, but so did her professional life. Her patients remained silent as she questioned if some algorithmic or karmic force protected her patients from the tabloids where she played the role of a voiceless ex-wife. Shortly enough, it was confirmed that her career had been affected, as the promise a psychologist makes to the patient to not take up emotional space was deemed impactful. She wrote, "It's hard to measure an absence, and I can't say for sure how much my career has been impacted by what's out there online, but there have been hints along the way, like the job offer that dissolved without explanation after yet another tabloid news cycle, or the patient who's scheduled for a first appointment but seemingly vanishes. On my darker days, I've railed against the unfairness of a public divorce, asking my therapist, who would trust a cardiologist who had a heart attack because they never got an EKG? Of course, I am not owed anything, whether it be a job or the privilege of being any given person's psychologist. I hate not knowing if the way my story has been told has impacted my opportunity to help others sort through their stories." She continued, sharing her thoughts on grappling with an uninvited public spotlight and how it has reshaped her perspective on vulnerability and connection. Lilly Jay describes herself as someone naturally allergic to both receiving attention and being erased. This is important because Ethan and Ariana got together in such a disrespectful way, they couldn't even hide the fact that their cozy dates overlapped with the timeline of both their marriages, and Ethan didn't have the decency of having any respect for his wife by at least not being as public with it. It was like she was never there to begin with, and I can't even imagine how soul-crushing that was. She wrote that the publicity she did not consent to has now presented her with both a challenge and a potential opportunity. My entire life, I feared that loss of control and postpartum depression would destroy me. One day in London, I looked up and found that they both had arrived. And I am okay. If I can't be invisible anymore, I may as well introduce myself. Chills. Wow. She chooses to confront the reality of being seen, sending this essay as a message in a bottle to her patients, admitting to wrestling with the loss of her anonymity, but recognizing the wisdom in her own advice. Avoiding fear only strengthens it. She reassures her patients, writing, "I hope this is okay. This psychologist of yours who had a window into her life pried open. Knowing what you now know, I can say with both personal and professional authority, you are so much stronger than you assume." Is anyone else getting teary-eyed? Lilly wrote, "Some of what you loved most about your partner was actually your own goodness reflected back to you. It's yours to keep and carry forward. I tell you, and myself, to let go of the worries. Our anxious minds are creative, but not particularly good guessers about the future. If you want to, or need to, we can acknowledge what you now know about me, and then we'll quickly work our way back to your story with a question that is a therapy classic for a good reason. And how did that make you feel?"
Would you read it to us? What does it say?
Sorry, hold on a second.
One user wrote, "Lilly Jay isn't angry at Ethan and Ariana. She's devastated that the public affair will break the sanctity of her career as a psychologist, which is built on the ability for her clients to project onto her." The essay was so beautifully written that you leave feeling this sense of strength of letting go of those who wronged you. Had I not been a gossip channel, I wouldn't even think about Ethan and Ariana. But I am, so this brings us to the tea. Ariana and Ethan pleading innocence. Having inside sources and accumulating so much knowledge about celebrities almost gives me the superpower of predicting their next step. The game plan that Ethan and Ariana have played since Lilly exclusively told Page 6 that Ariana is not a girl's girl has been to deny, act like the media didn't already piece together the story, and pretend like more went on behind the scenes that would make them appear innocent of this foul play. According to a source who spoke to the Daily Mail, Ethan and Ariana are relieved that Lilly didn't throw them under the bus and that Lilly and Ethan's divorce agreement restricted her from disclosing certain details about the events that transpired, but didn't stop her from expressing her emotions surrounding the ordeal. The source said that Lilly's sponge reference in the essay where she wrote, "You know how a sponge is most effective at absorbing liquid when it's already a bit wet?" was a subtle jab at the situation, but now that her story is out, she feels liberated. Lilly was seen shortly after on a stroll with her son and father running errands in New Jersey. Ethan recently confessed that he has found it difficult to have his relationship with Ariana in the public eye. Speaking to GQ magazine, he said, "I think there was something that was really difficult about things in your private life being commented on and looked at by the public. It's really hard to see people who don't know anything about what's happening commenting on it and speculating, and then getting things wrong about the people you love." Ariana, who was married to Dalton Gomez and started divorce proceedings the same month as Ethan, spoke about her frustration surrounding the overlap. She told the Zach Sang show, "I feel like we don't need to go into any specifics, but of course there is an insatiable frustration, inexplicable, hellish feeling with watching people misunderstand the people you love and you and anything." Ariana should give a masterclass in saying a whole bunch of nothing. She talks as if she's trying to fulfill the word count requirement in an essay. Insatiable frustration, inexplicable, hellish feeling. Girl, please. Both Ariana and Ethan act like they don't care for the collateral damage in the process of their relationship. Funny enough, Lilly Jay actually said those exact words, telling Page 6, "My family is just collateral damage." Now, the Page 6 story really grinds my gears because Ariana and her fans tried to pretend like it was a story they made up or that they cited a random fake source, which isn't true because doing something like that is illegal. As I covered the story on TikTok, fans kept spamming me with comments saying, "Oh, this story has been debunked," but it was never debunked. Lilly Jay was directly quoted. We know the quote came from her and was published by Page 6, but Ariana pretended like they ran some fake story and ironically enough told a story about how her therapist couldn't work with her anymore, which is the same fate Lilly Jay suffered.
One of the funniest stories when I was becoming whatever I became was that my therapist couldn't even work with me anymore. I think it was, of course it was, but they said that my therapist couldn't even work with me anymore. I've been with that therapist for 15 years.
Wow.
Fans started to spread the narrative that Page Six retracted their statements, all because when updating on the story, they wrote, "There is no hard evidence that Grande did anything to separate Slater from his estranged wife," which resulted in "Apologize to Ariana" trending. Personally, I believe that Page Six agreed to write that in as a compromise between them and Ariana's team, who may or may not have threatened legal action. With my background in celebrity reporting, I know that two parties often come to this mutual compromise where you give a little something without fully complying with what the other party wants. Technically, we don't have a certain tape that would serve as hard evidence to prove any cheating, but we do have our brains and all the things that have transpired publicly. I stand firm in what I reported, A, because my sources have referred to Ariana as a serial cheater for years, and B, because the facts were reported in front of my eyes, but slowly manipulated by publicists doing damage control. I did a whole educational breakdown of how celebrities and the media work together, whether that's breaking a story that will showcase the celebrity in a negative light, or the opposite where it's a puff piece. There's a video chapter in my video covering Meghan Markle's bullying allegations, so go check that out. But long story short, had the media reported lies about Ariana, they would have been sued a long time ago. So when the Daily Mail cites a source saying that Ariana and Ethan would go on double dates with their spouses, I believed it then and I believe it now. The reason this whole thing blew up the way it did, aside from the obvious, doing something that will negatively reflect on your character, also has to do with ego and sloppiness. Ariana Sloppiness. This man left his wife, who almost died during childbirth, and Ariana's response was, "Yes, and," followed up with a song bragging about how "that boy is mine," while claiming that the song isn't about him and everything is one big misconception, as if it didn't play out for us in the public eye. Ethan is the bad guy in the story. I'm not excusing his behavior in the slightest, but he's also not a pop culture icon with a huge fan base, so obviously people are going to care more about Ariana because more people know her, so the outrage is going to be bigger. I hate when people act like they don't know why people are talking about her role in everything. Would you care more about a story that involves Kim Kardashian or Yolanda Hadid? Exactly. Anyway, as discussed in The Psychology of Ariana Grande and multiple blog posts over the years, Ariana seems to display this habit where she seeks external validation by breaking up men in relationships and then having them choose her and then bragging about it. If you want to know how detailed her public track record is with this phenomenon, then check out my video about Ariana being the other woman. She was obvious about it with "Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored," a song whose whole premise is to show Ariana's power where a man will leave his partner just because she said so. The "I'm bored" here signifies how much impact she has without trying. It's not like he's breaking up with his girlfriend because he loves this girl named Ariana. And you may think, oh, but it's not that serious, you're taking it too literally. But look at how it played out historically with the founding fathers before Ethan. Ariana supposedly cheated on her first public relationship with Graham Phillips with this Victorious extra who was dating some indie singer at the time who exposed this whole thing in 2023. After that, Jai Brooks accused Ariana of cheating on him with Nathan Sykes. Naya Rivera, who was engaged to Big Sean, wrote that before their breakup, "I walk in, go downstairs, and guess what little girl is sitting cross-legged on the couch listening to music? It rhymes with Smariana Schmonday."
You have got to be kidding me.
It was rumored that Ariana cheated on Mac Miller with Pete Davidson, who reportedly left his longtime girlfriend Cassie David for Ariana. Ariana's dating timeline with Dalton Gomez overlaps with the time she dated Mikey Foster. And of course, her timeline with Ethan overlaps with Dalton. I mean, 1 or 2 times, okay, maybe it's a coincidence, but 600 times? Girl. The worst part was that Ariana's response to this was, "Yes, and why do you care so much who's I ride?" As if celebrities don't employ people to keep them talked about for good press, but suddenly they don't want it when the press becomes investigative journalism. Her songs always depict her as a victim of unfairness. In True Story, she sings, "I'll play the villain if you need me to," as if this was a narrative projected onto her completely unprovoked. She also sings, "I'll play the bad girl if you need me to, if it makes you feel better." I don't see any sort of accountability with her, and the fact that she always gets away with this lore seems like it's getting to her head. But is she getting away with it this time? The funny part about all of this is that I like Ariana, you know, the way one would like a villain in a movie. She's gorgeous, highly entertaining, talented, and has an incredible catalog. But at the same time, she's messy, deeply insecure, and destructive in her ways. From what I know about her, I can totally see her pulling a Kendall Jenner and ruining this man's life and then breaking things off with him after he served his purpose. And if you don't know what Kendall Jenner story I'm talking about, check out our Dark Hollywood tell-all reveal where some insane tea was revealed where for the first time ever, we revealed every blind item. This whole thing is crazy. I wish Lilly Jay the best. She seems like a lovely woman, and I'm intrigued to see how Ariana and Ethan will weasel out of this one. Do you guys think they'll be together by the time Wicked Part 2 comes out? What do you guys think? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for new videos each week. Follow us on our social media. Check out scandalousmedia for Inside Celebrity Tea. Don't forget to check out Fume, linked in the description box down below to get a head start on your New Year's resolutions. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.